Look what money has done to you. Look what money has done to us. I'm dead because of you.
No, you're alive.
Yeah.
You're just a torso and head. You're alive.
I'm still dead because of you. What do I do with a torso and a head?
You go boing, 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 boing.
Now, what am I, Larry the Cucumber from VeggieTales?
Yes.
Pretty much.
I always expect to sneeze at the end now. I always do. And I almost want to add in the sneeze at the end of every single one just because.
No.
Well, hey, you know what, Mr. Johnson? I have to edit out your sniffles and short,
I might as well have something
your
good.
weird breathings, I guess you'd say.
Yeah, dude, I'm weird. I don't know. I don't know.
I think in the last episode I edited, there was literally a minute I cut out of you going this. Ah, and it was a minute continuous, not like a minute like broken up amongst the episode. It was like a minute contiguous of that. And I was just sitting there going, oh, this is entertaining. Yeah, no, I'm cutting this out.
What's going on in my mind?
You know, I wonder that too. And exactly that noise right there. That noise right there. I cannot reproduce that noise. So that's why I did his best approximation of that. But yeah, you did that for like a minute straight at one point. I just had to edit that out. But it's funny that you bring up what's going through your mind, because that's exactly the topic of today. Not necessarily what's going through your mind, but what do you fill your mind with? And I love how at the beginning Aaron was going, well, what? I'm trying to think of all the stuff that we fill our mind with. And I was like, really? Because, oh, geez, I can look over at your computer right now. And I'm just as guilty for enjoying video games as well. So I'm not going to fault you for that at all, because I enjoy
Games
stuff.
are fun.
They're good in limited quantities. They're
No.
good as time killers when you have nothing else going on, but they're not what you should be filling your entire day with, unless somehow you got lucky enough to make it your job. That's
Some people,
interesting how some people do that. Honestly, I'd probably get bored after like a week of doing it.
Oh yeah,
'Cause
I could not. There's no way I could do that.
like,
for
nope,
life.
my brain says, nope, I have to do something else now. And
Yeah.
my dog wouldn't let me do it anyways. But regardless of the fact, that's the topic of the conversation today, is things that we fill our minds with, or as Aaron so eloquently put it, the junk that we fill our minds with. And I like that phrasing better, because the junk definitely represents a lot of it, if we're being honest. You know, music is great. I'm not dissing music in any way, shape, or form. Music as an art form is great. However, there is definitely some junk music out there that probably should not exist in our repertoire, especially as Christians. I'm thinking of a specific song I used to hear. I no longer hear from you. I think maybe one time you played it out of just be like, hey, remember this? And you try to be a little dumb.
Oh no, what was it? Which one was it?
I love how he immediately goes, which one was it? Because there is the
There's so
possibility
many.
of so many of them. However, I think the one in particular the one in particular that I'm thinking of is the one which has a wonderful chorus.
A wonderful.
That go, or
Is it the
it
Attila song?
it has I shouldn't say chorus. It has like a line in the chorus or whatever.
The party with the devil one?
Exactly.
Yeah!
Exactly. The line in question.
666 party with the devil.
Exactly. It's that one. It's 666 Party with the Devil. The first time I heard it, I sat there going, what the heck?
Yeah.
And I don't remember what I said in the moment, or if I said anything in the moment, or wait till later to address it. But I know it was brought up.
Oh yeah.
Okay. Regardless of oh, I like the beat. I like the whatever. I like this breakdown in the song. I like whatever.
That's what sucks about music. But yeah.
Let's be honest here.
Yeah.
Music, depending on the person, impacts them differently. Some
Oh, yeah.
people, it's background noise. It does nothing for them. It's something to just keep it from being so silent that they can hear their own heartbeat, which I've heard that there's a room not in the US, it's somewhere in the world. I forget exactly where, but it is so well silent, treated for silence. You can hear your own blood moving through your body.
That sounds terrifying.
And they're like, yeah, you'll go crazy if you stay in here too long. Like, it's that well treated. Like, there's no background noise, period. It is just, it's the world's quietest room if you ever want to look it up. It's kind of
Yes,
crazy.
I do want to look it up.
But so there are some people where it's just background noise. It's not used for anything. There are some people where it may be that music has a very emotional impact on them. Someone I think, I know I include myself in this, and I think I can honestly include you probably in that, where music is very much impactful on things. And you're probably, if you're like me, almost always have some back music going on in the back of your head. Either based on like your circumstances or your mood, or, or a random song just pops right in there and it just fills it in, and it's just, you're stuck. And that is your song of the day that you are humming, or if it's you, probably Aaron, you're drumming to it, something like that.
Yeah,
exactly.
Yep.
So there is a wide range of how music impacts people, and I understand that. So this isn't going to be something that may not necessarily be as impactful for some people, where it's just the background music and the lyrics happen and they don't care. That never impacts them.
No.
But for people that maybe where it's a little more that emotional connection, I guess you could say,
Gotta be a little more careful with it.
Yeah, because what are those words going on in the back of your head all the time? And you're going to sit there, and it's interesting. And I say interesting in a self-condemning way to myself as well. Okay. It is so easy to memorize songs and so hard to memorize scripture at the same time.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I would think of how many, I guess I couldn't say a lot off the top of my head like this, but while listening to a song, then it's like, oh, you kind of I'll have a better idea for sometimes lyrics. And see, like, lyrics for me are the last thing I pay attention to, unless it's so obvious.
Right?
Like the example, the Attila song. Like, that's where it's like, you can't miss what he's saying, because whatever. Otherwise, yeah, sometimes for a lot of music, like, I won't listen to the lyrics.
Mm-hmm.
I'll just know the melodies ish and then whatnot. Especially for metal, because it's like some songs I'll like a lot, and I won't want to know the lyrics. But then some point, if I feel like I start to understand it as time goes on, and I eventually find out the lyrics and I don't like it, I'm like, well, now I can't listen to the song anymore. So, yeah, I don't know. That's why I try not to pay attention to lyrics. But I definitely do know more lyrics than I would know scripture off the top of my head.
I would dare venture that pretty much any person who really gets into music, where it really can impact them and it can adjust their mood or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Because, hey, that song makes me feel great. Let me let me learn what it is that makes it so good. Why I'd like to sing along to it in the car or whatever. And you ever see me driving along, that there might be a chance of that happening, but like, there was a video I saw recently, all these like post-grunge rock songs, like late 90s, early 2000s, right? A lot of them, whatever. And one of them was like, oh, have you ever looked at the lyrics of this? And I'm looking, and it's like, oh my goodness, this is all about taking drugs right now. And like, you never even realized it. It's
Right.
like, it's talking about taking another hit and letting the hit expire and then taking another one to go in further. I'm like, hold on.
What have I been listening to? I don't know, with some other artists, like even for like today's music. I don't know. I remember seeing when was it
Well, I think even now, like it's a little more direct now.
oh, it's more direct, yeah. Um but I'm just I don't know, I'm thinking of like some like the songs that I guess would be by popular artists today. And some of them are just absolute garbage. It's so stupid. I don't understand why I don't know. I don't understand it. I don't get it.
Yep.
I like
So
music with a message that's meaningful.
so
rather than
like
just
this
crap.
song, Semi Charmed Life by Third Eye Blind,
Yeah.
1997. So you were 2. Okay.
I was a baby.
All right. You read through the lyrics and then you're just like, okay. Da, 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 da. Interesting. These are interesting lyrics. And then it goes, it won't stop. I won't come down. I keep stock with the TikTok rhythm. I bumped to the drop and then I bumped up. I took the hit and then it was given. Then I bumped up. Then I bumped again. Then I bumped again and said. And at first you're just like, oh, it's a fun little catchy whatever.
Yeah.
And then you're reading the rest of it and you're like, okay. Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting when you see what people are actually writing about in some of their songs. It's kind of weird.
Yeah. And parts of the song you read and you're like, oh, it sounds like a quote unquote love song. Or he's like longing for this woman. But then
Yeah.
you keep going through and you're like, no.
It's not it.
The sky was gold, it was rose. I was taking sips of it through my nose. How much more direct can you be?
He's doing drugs.
Oh, actually, wait, right here, the line's real direct. Let me read you the line. Doing crystal meth will lift you up until you break. And then that's
Love
when
it.
it starts with it won't stop. Then the next line is it won't stop. Right after.
Oh, okay.
So
Okay.
so I don't know how much more direct he could be, but these are words that this was a very. I remember hearing this on the radio all the time.
Hmm.
This was. I think I had maybe it was an Atari. No, it wouldn't have been an Atari. It was like some sort of like computer. It wasn't a computer, but it was like a precursor to a computer system, and it was like had like a dungeon crawling game on it. And so I'd have the radio on playing that. Weren't exactly the richest family in the world at 97. But that's okay. But we were doing that, and that song would
That
be
was
on the
a
radio
song.
all the time.
It was a jam.
I remember it. Like I can, like now that I just say this now,
Yeah.
like it's going through my head. I can remember it easily. Like the rhythm, everything. It's just there,
Boom.
and it's junk.
Ingrained.
Like I said, music is great, but some of it is just pure junk that just
Oh yeah.
needs to get out. Doesn't need to be there at all. And
I just think of a lot of. Oh, what was one? Well, one song that just makes me upset is that. Oh my gosh, it's just so stupid.
really stupider than the other song, 666 Party with the Devil.
Yeah. Well, okay. You know what? Oh, okay, I don't know. No, I'm thinking of what's the. Why can't I think the I Like Big Butts song?
Oh my goodness.
Oh, because like that. Whenever. Well, there's like 2 channels that it'll play on the radio at work for 2 stations or whatever.
Yeah.
And it's like, it's either, well, it's the 90s. It always come on at least once a day. Or then it's like, was it Pop Rocks? I don't know. Another station that's got like some 90s in it. And whenever that song comes on, I just get like so cringy and just I hate that song. It's just that's what people love, but it's so nasty at the same time. That's just I don't know. And then you have all this like talk about talking down of women and stuff. I was like, is this not what this song is all about? But I don't know. Maybe it's not. I don't know. I just think it's a horrible song lyrically.
Well, I'm reading through the lyrics right now, and I'll be honest.
People love
I
it.
honestly don't know this song that well, so it's not ringing in my
What?
head. I've
How
heard.
do you not
I-
know this song?
Okay, I know the phrase from the
I
song.
like big
Yeah, I know that part. Just like, there's other songs out there that I might know the phrase of because they have become popular in pop culture, but
There you go.
they're not. Okay, I am not a rap R&B type person. Okay, I'm not.
So I probably am more so than you are.
Yeah,
Yeah, I definitely am.
which is weird because of how white you are.
Yeah.
And that has nothing to do with how white you are. Okay. It just rap and R&B just never has been something for me. Like that's never been really my style. Just like country has never been a
Yeah,
style
I'm
of
definitely
music.
more country than you are too.
On
I
so
don't
many
like
levels.
country. Yeah.
On so many levels, you're so much more redneck.
Yeah.
I was just watching Zombieland. And considering
Yeah.
things, junkie fill your mind with
Right.
movies.
Zombieland.
Movies, in general, a lot of them, especially in current times and culture, is just ridiculous on the amount of
Mhm.
gratuitous violence, sex, drug use, whatever. And this one hit on the violence, Zombieland,
Oh yeah, I was like, wait, what?
and not gratuitous drug use, but it had drug use in there.
Yeah.
It did because they ended up in a Hollywood mansion for a little bit with Bill Murray, and
Yeah.
he offered them some.
I had that good stuff.
Yeah, let's put it that way. But movies are the same way. We like to go to the movies all the time, and again, movies in and of themselves that's nothing wrong per se. You can enjoy the movies.
Yeah.
You can go and enjoy a good afternoon, whatever, and have it up. But if you're spending a ton of money or only going out and watching movies, and you're not doing other things to kind of keep your mind, or
balance that.
or going into this that this movie is going to have certain things in it that probably maybe you shouldn't see.
Right.
Hey, this this movie is advertised as having their selling point is 5 sex scenes in the movie. I'm gonna go watch it. You do that. Obviously at that point it's like, okay, you're finally finding a way to fill your mind with junk and filth that you shouldn't be doing.
Mm-hmm.
And especially like if you're a teenager, a teenage male, you're like, yeah, I'm gonna go see that.
Yeah, that's what I'm looking for. Heck yeah.
They're like, oh look, I don't have to sneak around my parents' back and find stuff on the internet. I can just go to the movie
We could
theater.
go see this movie, but then would you watch that movie with your parents? Probably not.
See, I heard that one all the time,
Yeah.
and my mom she's a rom-com freak.
Oh,
Or
okay.
was. She's not as much anymore. Now she's just other stuff. But she used to be a rom-com freak like all the time. So she always had all
those good old.
And we're not
good old
talking like
shows.
rated G or PG rom-coms. We're talking
Did they ever? I mean, it's all TV stuff.
no
Oh, she had like movies.
movies. We're not talking like we're because some of them are they cut away, let's say.
Right.
Some of them show a little bit more and then cut away, but they leave enough for the mind
To play its
to play
games
with. The human brain is probably the best AI system in the world. Because the brain, and I don't know if yours can, I guess mine can because it's warped and imaginative at the same time, could take like 2 images and all of a sudden construct an entire video from those 2 images. And it's like, how, brain? Why can you not do this for other things? Why do you have to do it for this corrupt crap in my life? And thinking back on that, and this is, I don't know how you would phrase this. Not like I'm saying like I'm trying to whip myself, and all that right now, but it's the reason is because I have fed it in the past all the material that it needed to be able to extrapolate and generate a video from those 2 images. Because my brain can go, here's these 2 images. I know now. Okay, this sounds weird. I know now the parameters of what this person looks like.
Right.
My brain could then extrapolate the parameters of what they would sound like which then extrapolates the parameters of how they would move in that. And then all of a sudden, from that, my brain can produce an entire video in its head.
Well, yeah, I mean,
And I'm just like, how much crap did I fill my brain with when I was younger to be able to do that?
oh yeah. I guess I wonder if you don't necessarily need to fill it with so much stuff, other than, I mean, just what it can do with so little. But I mean, I guess I think about, I don't know, I mean, I don't know why this makes me think about like dreaming and stuff like that. It's like what your mind comes up with dreams and stuff and how it puts stuff together. And I don't know if someone was telling me, I mean, I don't know if it's true. I've never looked up any like science stuff about dreaming.
Mhm.
But like everything that you see in your dreams is all from something that you have seen throughout your life at some point. So it's
Right.
not like you're just creating something brand new from nothing. It's all combinations of stuff that you've seen throughout a lifetime.
Well,
So it's, I don't know.
Yeah, it is stuff you've seen, but your brain is still
mean, it can
it's
still
it's
put
still
stuff together.
extrapolating
Right.
and creating new scenarios. You're not just relieving
Right.
old scenarios.
No. Yeah.
It is creating new scenarios. That's what I mean by extrapolating. It's taking
Mhm.
data that it knows and is coming up with new scenarios, new situations, things you've never seen based on what you have seen. And
Yeah.
that's why I say, how much crap have I put in my brain to be able to extrapolate that? And I'm not proud of that. I'm not saying, oh, this is great. Now,
Oh, well,
don't get me
no,
wrong.
no.
For stuff like, the Friday night game in that where I'm running, the RPG, the Pathfinder game,
Yeah.
that is very handy because I have a wide breadth and wealth of RPG knowledge that I can tap into and take point A and point B and extrapolate and create this whole scenario off the top of my head on the fly.
Mm-hmm.
The last 2 Fridays, I've had to do that. Just like I had outlines like of kind of what I wanted. I knew endpoint, I knew start point. I had nothing in the middle.
Right.
I sat down at the table and came up with it on the fly. For those of you in the game, don't listen to that. But I was able to use that to my advantage there. But at the same time, it's a double-edged sword because I'll admit all the pornography and all that I used when I was younger, which I'm not proud of at all. I'm ashamed of. But that all sticks in my mind still.
Right.
Unfortunately.
Some of that stuff is just etched in there.
That junk, as you put it, and I agree that it's beyond junk. That's filled part of the brain and it's
Yeah.
there. And as much as I want to get rid of it, as much as I don't want it there are times when it's like, do, hey, I'm doing work, do. Oh, where'd that thought come from?
Mhm.
And,
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And all of a sudden your brain's like, hey, let me replay this encyclopedia of stuff that you hadn't thought of in forever,
Yeah.
just out of nowhere. And that's the part.
No.
That's the danger of filling your head with some of this junk, is because you think you can get rid of it. You think you're never going to think of it again. It's the same as, someone who has been through, a traumatic experience. Things are going to trigger them down the road again, things that maybe they didn't expect to trigger them.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I'm not equating the two. Okay. So don't get off that I'm trying to do that. But there are times when I could be anywhere and just something random happens and goes, huh. And all of a sudden my brain goes, hey, remember that video you watched when you were like 17? And I'm like,
I
oh,
wish
crap.
I didn't. Thank you very much.
And it goes, here, let me play it back for you. Foop. And I'm like, seriously, brain, stop. Stop. And if I could purge my brain of that crap, I would. Unfortunately, and this is something I don't think, teenagers, especially younger guys, younger people, I shouldn't say younger guys, younger people in general don't realize is the stuff that you see and do and hear
Mhm.
today is going to stick with you for years to come. And it's going to be something that will be a part of your brain and how you think of things, as well as how you process things going forward. And you're like, oh, this is not going to be an issue at all. There's not going to be a problem with this, whatever.
You'd be surprised.
That what you consume now is gonna adjust how you treat members of the opposite gender as you grow up.
Yeah, with that kind of content.
Well,
Yeah.
I'm talking about with porn content. I'm talking about even with music. And look
Well,
at
yeah,
some
for
of the
the
music
lyrics,
that
yeah.
is very disrespectful towards women.
Yeah.
You
Which-
have, even video games are like that as well, where there's violence against women in that. And so these things that just seem innocent, it's like, oh yeah, whatever. It can cause issues down the road. And unless you are properly processing this stuff, and what I mean by that is, you realize it's a fantasy, whatever it is, music, video games, whatever, and treat it and compartmentalize it as such. Allow it to, I guess, while you're reading, engaging with it, to fuel your imagination, but also realize this is fantasy, A, and B, hey, is this something that is good for me? And
Right.
that question changes a lot depending on where your worldview comes from. If you're coming from a Christian worldview, that's already kind of filtered and defined for you as, is this glorifying and honoring to God or not? Is this not even mentioned in the Bible? Stuff like that. Because, as much as we want to say, yes, the Bible talks about 100% about everything, it doesn't talk specifically about video games, but
No.
it gives principles about how to deal with video games.
Yeah.
It gives principles about how to deal with, various books and that, but doesn't necessarily say, okay, book titled X should only be read on Saturdays and only by children, 15 and older. It doesn't give an encyclopedia of all the books that are ever going to be written. That you have principles on which to then go through everything else and learn and live.
Right.
And we've gone out of that flow. We've let the world say, okay, here's all the stuff we want to push and do and have it for entertainment, and we're just gonna sit back and consume it. And I've been guilty of that in the past. Don't get me wrong. I'm not like sitting here going, Aaron, you are an evil person.
I don't know a person that hasn't at some point.
But it's one of those things, I think, as you grow older and you mature, not mature necessarily as a person, mature as a Christian, that you learn and go, okay, yeah, I'm good with this. This is now what I need to learn to do these things. This is now things that, even though it looks like it may be fun, maybe I shouldn't be doing, because I know it's going to corrupt my mind. It's going to change how I think and how I process things. It's going to make me look at this other person in a worse light because I'm letting this stuff in.
Yeah. Gosh dang it.
So what other junk did we fill our minds with? We've covered we've covered a range of things here, but there's always more.
Oh yeah, gosh, we can enter the world of TikTok.
Oh my goodness.
No,
there's so much I could say about that one, but I'm not going to right now.
That could go for a long time. But I remember seeing some I guess this is more so targeting America, but I had seen a clip of some episode or whatever, but they were talking about the whole, was it like the algorithm of TikTok or whatever. Like, if you were to be in China and seeing what TikTok is like big on, or like what stuff it's like showing a lot of, it's more so from the, this is just from the one guy. So yeah, he says it's more geared to like people doing cool things as like engineering stuff, and just really it's pushing for smart ideas and learning and stuff like that. But then when you come and see what people are in America are just like thriving off of TikTok, is all the stupid crap it shows. And granted, I guess that's a lot of what I see as the stupid stuff, because that's what I see people reacting to.
Mm-hmm.
So that could very much also be a part of it. But it's just like, it's rewarding to just silly stuff. And then that's just what people are getting sucked into. watching little clip after clip after clip after clip of whatever, and it's kind of frightening, I guess. Because I mean, I don't know. Just makes me think of how crazy is the world really getting, which is getting pretty crazy
Yeah,
as time goes on.
I've heard that claim as well about the
whole algorithm thing.
difference.
Yeah, I know. The only thing I know is I've heard that from someone. So I have never looked into it myself, so I can't say it's fact or not. But
Yeah, so the claim is, and this is the claim. I'm saying the claim, okay? The claim is that, yeah, like you were saying, in China, it is, science projects, it's STEM research stuff, it's all this, and then U.S., it's little Billy Bobby doing the floss.
These stupid Fortnite dances and just whatever else that can be funny and cute and it's just what people love. Which, I mean, to a point, I mean, there's nothing necessarily wrong with that, but it's like, is it worth the amount of attention we're giving it? No. It's not helping society anymore. It's just like, oh wow, that's funny. Okay, whatever.
Yeah, I would play a clip from Joe Rogan podcast, the poor and battled Joe.
Yeah.
I let him cry in his millions of dollars.
Yeah.
Which, did you see his
probably
contract got posted online? Someone posted it online.
I thought he was like making 100 million over.
No.
Wait, what?
200 million over 3.5 years. Even more than people originally thought. So the contract that was posted online was 200 million over 3.5 years for exclusivity to Spotify. So,
wow. Oh my gosh, that's nuts.
Yeah. So
I mean, I feel like America, we are is just sucked into entertainment.
Really, you don't say. Let's see here. We got. Oh, I'm not saying anything about you. I'm thinking like, we have shows like The Masked Singer, which, to be fair, came over from Korea, South Korea. So you got stuff like that. The Masked Singer. You have stuff like America's Got Talent, where it's not, for the most part, the popular shows at the beginning of America's Got Talent aren't actual people of talent. It's people doing crazy stuff, or like the old man singing "Let the Bodies Hit the Floor."
Yeah,
stuff like that.
My man, I like him.
See, point taken.
Yeah,
not real talent, and yet somehow managed to get that.
Hey, he wanted to shoot for his dreams. Okay.
Yeah. So
anything is possible.
So the Chinese version of TikTok is actually called, and I'm probably gonna mispronounce this completely. It's Douyin, Douyin. That's the Chinese version of TikTok.
Yeah.
So, they're kind of separate. That so they actually have a lot more community restrictions on things as well.
For sure. That's no surprise.
Yeah, I know. Surprise. But that is a very good thing to kind of look into, is like, hey, is China's Douyin actually encouraging this sort of stuff, science, STEM, technology, and we're encouraging, let me do a dance.
Right.
Or I've seen this in YouTube videos even. It's starting to spread. TikTok is starting to spread out to YouTube as well.
Oh yeah.
To drive me nuts. But people, they're not even producing original content anymore. They're lip syncing over other stuff. I'm not even talking like songs. I'm talking someone else's comedy routine. Someone else is just kind of lip syncing over a comedy routine. They're not even doing original stuff that way. And I just sit there and go, why?
Well, I think like obviously people want to make money. And I don't know like if or how much these big TikTok people, if they make much money or not. I don't know. I've never looked into that stuff. Or for if they have however many views, I don't know. People are whatever. But it's like, if some of those people do make good money off of just stupid, simple stuff like that, and other people are seeing that, then that's going to be their goals. Like, oh, I can just make money doing something stupid, getting people entertaining people. And it's just this, I don't know. I feel like it's just a domino effect of just junk. And it's like I don't know. It's like people don't want to put any effort into themselves and learning something and being, a help to the community, I guess.
Yeah.
Which I can't say much. I just make cable ties, so that's about it.
Okay.
So I don't really do anything with my time, I suppose, either as much, but I don't know. But yeah, I don't know. It's just people just want to be fat and happy and do as little as they can. And entertainment's something that helps them distract from probably serious problems.
Yeah, and the data shows it too.
Mm-hmm.
I know we've talked about before about how much time people spend on social media a day.
Right.
Do you remember how much time?
No, but a ton.
The average person aged 18 to, what'd they say, 40, I think 40. Oh, I'm sorry. Wow, my ages were completely off. So the average person, regardless of age,
Yeah.
spends about 2 hours, 25 minutes a day on social media.
Wow.
33 of that on Facebook. 33 minutes of that on Facebook, which is quite a bit. People aged 16 to 24 spend 3 hours a day on social media. So you're talking about 35 more minutes.
Yeah.
So you get a whole nother Facebook session in.
Yeah. I love Facebook. Not.
Yeah, sure. Yeah. Okay.
I mean, I guess, would you consider, I guess that's once a week, but the whole like a video group chat or whatever on Facebook, that's not.
No,
that's different.
no,
That's not
we're that's talking like you actually just sit
actually
there
using.
like, I like this post.
Yeah, so it's just people scrolling through, looking at what is out there.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So based on that data, this is kind of sobering, very sobering if you think about it. How much of your life, of an average person's life, if you were to take all that time and just put it together as years
Yeah.
and months, how many years and months would an average person spend on social media based on current trends in the United States? Because in other countries it's worse, but we're going to talk
Is it
about
really?
like the Philippines. They spend way more time on social media.
Really?
Yeah, they're talking.
Where is it the least?
I'd have to look, but
Okay.
so wouldn't surprise me. Something like Russia, the least.
Right. Well, I would imagine the place with high restrictions.
So Philippines, they do about 4 hours, 15 minutes a day.
That's a ton.
Yeah,
That's a half a day's work.
yeah. They send social media. But anyways, back to, if you had to guess, how much of your life, according to current trends, does the average person spend on social media during their lifetime?
I mean, I guess I would say a few years.
What's a
But-
few years?
3 to 5.
Okay, that's your guess?
Yeah.
All right.
Because I guess I can't. Yeah, I don't know.
Okay, I'm going to give you the other numbers first.
Yeah.
A typical person in their life will spend about 1 year, 8 months doing housework. Like cleaning up around the house and
Yeah.
that. Okay. They'll spend about 1 year, 11 months socializing, like in person, face to face, going out with people and that.
Oh, please tell me that's more than social media.
They'll spend about 2 years, 2 months shopping, for food, clothes,
Oh, boy.
luxury items, cameras, etc.
Heh.
They'll spend about 3 years, 7 months eating and drinking. Going to dinner with the family or out or whatever. 8 years, 4 months watching TV.
Oh, no.
Remember, I'm skipping the social media number. I'm going to come back to that at the end.
Yeah.
And then 26 years, 5 months sleeping.
Sleeping. And that's guessing that you have, what, 8 hours? a
That's
night?
assuming 8 hours. Social media, 6 years, 8 months.
Gee.
And then they broke it down based on that 6 years, 8 months. They broke it down even further by social media platform.
Oh, really?
Instagram, 8 months.
Okay.
Twitter, poor Twitter, 18 days.
Good riddance. Twitter.
YouTube, 1 year, 10
Okay,
months.
second, YouTube would be huge.
Facebook,
More?
1 year, 7 months.
Okay.
Snapchat, 1 year, 2 months.
Wow.
Yeah.
Social media is a huge thing.
Yeah. So, we're filling our mind with stuff on social media, and we're giving, I guess, power to these people because they're filling your head with stuff that doesn't need to necessarily be there, with junk.
Uh-huh.
And let's be honest, a lot of people on social media, they're trying to do stuff. And I know a lot of them are gonna go, "Oh, we love you so much, we care." No, what they like is you going and watching their videos because then they get ad revenue and then they get money. That's what they care. That's why they do the stuff that they do.
Right.
There are people out there that probably genuinely do care, but they get lost in the feed of, "Come watch me do this for this so you can do this," and fill in the blanks. I don't know. There's just things that people do, And then you have others that I'm sure you've probably heard of him because he's pretty famous on YouTube, Mr. Beast.
Oh gosh.
You've seen his stuff.
Yeah, I've seen some a little bit. Not a
But
ton.
when you break down, like, he actually broke down on a video his money, right? About 90% of that goes back into making more videos, like paying his staff and all that.
Right.
So he's investing almost 100% back into his business. He's not sitting there doing stuff. But even then, guess what? He's doing it for the money.
Oh, right.
He doesn't
He's still making stuff.
He's still doing it for money. It's giving him a very comfortable life. So it's not like he's, just, doing it for the goodness of his heart.
Right.
I mean, I look at some of this, right? And this drove me. I couldn't believe these numbers. So on YouTube, right? YouTube, a video site. You want to know how many photos are uploaded daily to YouTube? Photos, not videos.
I know there's photos on YouTube.
Yeah, you could do like status updates, like a video, like a channel creator, not a channel creator, a creator could do like post a photo and be like, write a message, like almost like a Facebook post.
Oh, yeah. Okay. How many photos are? Oh gosh. Tons.
Just take a stab.
A day?
A day.
I mean, I'd say probably tens, if not hundreds of thousands.
5 billion photos a day, according to this site.
I mean, 5 to 5. I should have guessed more. The 50 or wow, tens to hundreds of millions. That would have been a better first
5
guess.
billion.
5 billion.
With 30 million active users a day.
30 million active
a day that go to Facebook.
No, Facebook
Or
YouTube?
YouTube. Sorry, I also
Yeah.
have the Facebook page here.
Oh, okay.
Facebook, by contrast, has 1.4 billion active users a day with 300 million photos uploaded daily.
So YouTube's getting a lot more action than that.
Yeah.
Wow. But not as many active users.
Right. So, like, Facebook has 2.2 billion monthly active users. YouTube has 1.5 billion monthly active users. This is a scope of size we're dealing with on these social media platforms, right? In contrast, Instagram, they have 95 million photos uploaded daily.
Wow.
That's less than Facebook, less than
Yeah.
YouTube.
Oh,
On Instagram,
which is a photo-based
focus site.
Yeah.
But then you look at the usage numbers and you understand why it's less than Facebook. Daily active, they only have 500 million users. And they only have 250 million stories per day as well, active stories.
How long, man? I wonder how long it would take if one person were to view each thing uploaded.
It would take forever. Okay. Now, Twitter, their numbers are a lot less they're a lot smaller, so we're not even gonna care about them.
We don't. Yeah,
Okay.
Twitter's dead.
But Snapchat, that's interesting.
Yeah.
Daily active users, 178 million.
Okay.
So only more than YouTube, excluding Twitter. Just excluding Twitter.
Yeah.
Do you want to guess how many snaps they create a day?
There's more than YouTube had pictures.
Surprisingly, no.
No?
3 billion snaps a day,
Really? Okay.
with 10 billion video views a day.
Jeez.
Yeah, all you people doing your lovely little.
See, I guess I don't use. The only nice thing I would have to say about Snapchat
Mhm.
that would make it more unique is the whole sending videos for a chat. That's the only cool thing. But otherwise, you could just use normal text messages.
Well, there is a silver line to all this.
What's that?
Gen Z is filling their minds with less and less crap from social media.
Well, that's good.
And they have found, obviously, whenever you do a survey and they say percentages, obviously this is not going to be 100% true across the board. They're extrapolating based on the data they have.
Mhm.
But based on the data they have, Gen Zers have taken a break from one or more social networks 64% of the time. So 64, let me rephrase that. 64% of Gen Zers have taken a break from one or more social networks. 34% have completely quit social media altogether.
That's awesome.
Now, you talk about the junk that fills our brain, right?
Right.
Do you want to know some of the reasons why they quit social media?
It's because of the crap it's putting out.
Well, let's get a little bit more nuanced than just crap that's being put out.
Okay.
What about the crap that's being put out?
I don't know. It's dumb. I don't know.
Okay. 26%, they weren't interested in the content anymore. It just became so generic and bland and boring that they're like, I don't care about this
So
anymore.
what's going to be the next thing?
35% said that there was too much negativity on it. 41% actually said they're wasting too much time. They were realizing that they were spending time filling their mind
That's
with
cool.
crap and spending it and giving it to people who really didn't care. All they wanted was the eyeballs for the money.
Right.
And 17% said it made them feel bad about themselves. Probably because they're seeing the Barbie girl poster girl and being like, oh, I need to be like that. Or the guy seeing like the Jack bodybuilder. He's like, oh, look, I'm 19. And you look at him and go, no, you're not 19, sir. You're lying. And if you are, I hate you on so many levels. And this data right here that I'm reading from is from a site called Broadband Search. And essentially they do research on obviously social media, but they also do other stuff as well.
Okay.
So they are an interesting company. They have more social media networks, but I figured, most people, well, no, a lot of people probably don't use LinkedIn. There's more people starting to use Pinterest, but not a ton as well. And I know about WhatsApp. I just never used it, but it's real popular outside the United States.
WhatsApp is?
Yeah. It's a weird phenomenon in the United States, where in the United States we use kind of the built-in text messaging app, on our phones. Outside the United States, people use stuff like WhatsApp and that as their primary text message.
I've used it a couple times, but then it just died really quickly.
Yeah. So it's one of those weird phenomenons of the United States where we're just opposite of the rest of the world. Go figure on something. I was watching a video from, again, talking about things you fill your mind with, a video from Marquise Brown. How do you say his last name? Because I want to say it one way and I don't want to say it. Yeah, it is Marquise Brownlee. I knew it.
Marquise Brownlee.
Yep, he's a tech guy on YouTube, but he essentially went over the whole concept of blue bubbles versus green bubbles. So for people that are on iOS, right?
Oh, okay.
When you have a message with someone on Android, you get green bubbles. When you have a message with someone that's also on iOS, iOS, you get blue bubbles. The original intent behind this was because back when this came out, iMessages came out, you had to pay for your per text message.
Yeah.
So green meant this was a paid for text message versus blue, which went over like your Wi-Fi at home, and it was going over data, and it was a free message.
What?
And they just kept that color, and it has become a thing of, oh, you're a poor person because you have a green text message on my phone. I was actually reading an article today. There was a basketball player, professional basketball player in the NBA, who was forced to get an iPhone because his team would not allow him in the group chats because he had an iPhone. They didn't want to see any green bubbles.
What?
We're letting companies fill our mind as well with their own propaganda.
How dumb is that?
I know. I saw that. I was like, seriously?
Oh my gosh. People are so stuck up. I never knew that was a thing because I mean, I remember the day where I used to pay for text messages, but I was never cool enough to have like different color bubbles for my messages.
Yeah,
I just had a flip phone.
Oh man, flip phone back in the day.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would have to find that article, and I'm not going to spend the time right now to find it. But it was an article I was just reading this morning, where he's like, yeah, the coaches and the other players wouldn't let him in on the group chats unless he got an iPhone, so that way they didn't have to see green bubbles.
That's so dumb.
And I was just in there going, this is ridiculous. And you hear stories all the time, actually. And I've like witnessed this as well. People have gone like, oh, why are you poor and have Android? Little realizing that America is a unique phenomenon as well in this.
Yeah.
The rest of the world, Android is way more popular than iPhone. America is really the only country in the world where iPhone is more popular than Android.
Really?
It's like completely reverse of everywhere else in the world.
Wow.
And, and it's partly Apple controlling the message on their iPhones. If you ever watch a TV series or a movie and someone has an iPhone, they are never the bad guy.
Nuh-uh.
Apple does not allow their products to be used by the bad guys in TV shows and movies.
What? Who picks up on this stuff? Or how does this stuff get figured out?
It gets,
or just leaked from the company?
It gets leaked, through contracts and that. People probably like had suspicions at first and then it got leaked and it was kind of confirmed. And so, yeah, if you ever see a character at a TV show or a movie and they have an iPhone, guess what? They are not.
They're not a bad guy.
They're not the bad guy. Even if it's pointing towards them being the bad guy. I just ruined a ton of movies for you that you may watch in the future. You're like, oh, this guy's evil. Oh, no, he's actually good. He has an iPhone.
He's got an eye. What the heck? So I just went to go see. Oh, well, I don't know if there was ever a time where they used phones, though.
What?
Well, I mean, they used, but I don't know if the villain ever used a phone. I just went to go see the movie Uncharted last night.
Okay.
And I'm trying to think, well, now I feel like I want to go back and watch if any of them ever used phones. Then none of the villains wouldn't have iPhone. Oh my gosh.
Yeah,
what
so
the heck?
This originally came out from this article was back in 2020. Do you remember the movie Knives Out?
Mm-mm.
Okay. So the movie Knives Out, it was directed by Rian Johnson.
Yeah,
and that's the person that but anyways, that they in an interview they were talking about that. They were talking about how they tried to get their villain to be able to use it, and Apple said, no, you cannot use an iPhone on film for a villain.
Wow. Now, well, is that literally for any movie published like anywhere? Or is there like at some point some film where it's so low budget where
remember,
it's like whatever?
Well, and then they risked the ire of Apple coming after them. There's some weird whenever you boot up a phone, be it Apple, Android, whatever, there are weird EULAs. Most people just go scroll, agree. That's what's part of in the EULA, stuff like that.
Oh, uh-oh. Maybe I'll have to actually read that one day. Not.
So,
wow.
We're letting companies fill our heads with junk as well, propaganda as well, all the time. It's amazing when you start sitting back and objectively looking at what is coming in at you from around how much of it is just pure junk? And I'm not saying the junk is politically one side or the other, because it's on both sides.
Yeah.
I continually go back to, how do I put it? My mom's favorite TV channel, the Mark, not
I was just like, Mark Zuckerberg, what?
no, My Pillow guy,
Oh, Dave Lind, or is it Dave? Is it Dave Lindell or Mr. Mike Lindell?
Mike Lindell.
No, why did
Mike
Dave?
Lindell's TV
Mike.
channel. You're thinking Dave from Louder Crowder Pry.
Probably Dave Landau.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dave
Mike
Landau versus Mike Lindell.
They're way too close. Sorry.
But as soon as your brain started going down the Dave and boom, boom, boom. But anyways, regardless of the fact, but that's my mom's favorite TV channel and drives me nuts, that channel. Because some of the stuff found out, I will be there and I'll be like, Mother dearest, this is just pure junk that you're letting fill your mind. Because it's getting her all enraged about stuff.
Right.
And then as you look at it, it's like, no, this is false. This isn't true. I don't know why you're getting enraged about it. So you got all this stuff that's coming at you, left, right, whatever. And when I say left, right, I'm not talking about politically. I'm talking like, coming literally at your face, left and right.
All over. Yeah.
That just filling your mind with junk. What ways that you can avoid the junk then? What can you do to help yourself avoid some of this and not
limit your time to it, or just remove it?
Limit your time to it, remove it. That's one way you could do it. That's definitely a good way to do it, honestly. Another thing I would say would be to take it with a big grain of salt.
Oh, yeah.
Take it all with a big grain of salt. And then another thing I would say is validate what it is.
Well, yeah, I'll say if it's something that's very, I guess, important to you, do your research on it to make sure things line up, I guess.
Well, I would say this. If it's like news or something like that, right? Check cross-referencing against other news sources. Make sure it's valid, okay?
Right.
But let's say it's a song, a movie. When I say validate it there, I'm not saying make sure that this movie is factual because, movies are not factual. What I'm saying there is validate it as, is this something that I can do as a Christian? If you're a Christian, could I do this as a Christian? And will I not feel ashamed? I'm going to go the whole cliche route. You went the cliche route of, pretend you're singing with your parents.
Oh, right.
I'll go the further youth leader cliche route. Pretend Jesus is sitting next to you watching. Yeah, I know.
See, part of me would be more okay with that than my parents.
Really?
Almost, yeah. I think
Why?
so. Because it's like, well, he already knows everything anyway. So it's like, whatever. He already sees all the stuff that I see and do. My parents don't.
What if we embed a camera in your forehead so they can see everything you see?
This is awkward. I don't want to do that.
What if I told you I've already done that?
I'm taking you to court. I'm kidding. No, I wouldn't do that.
If I did that, I hope you would.
What? Nah, you're just exposing me for who I really am.
Yeah, that's creepy. But, I know that's what I said. I went very cliche there with that.
Right.
But almost think of it that way of like, if with the other cliche, almost like if the rapture were to happen now, God descends from heaven, Christ descends from heaven and goes, okay, come on, what are you watching?
Yeah. You knew I was watching this. Stop playing these games.
He goes, yes, but what are you watching?
I'm sorry. Oh, no.
Come on up here anyway, but
you're going to pay for that?
I don't think it's going to be a pay for that. It's going to be more like a...
Right.
But stuff like that. When I say validate it, is it, because people will talk all about stuff in the New Testament, especially from Paul from the New Testament, and they'll go, and I've heard this argument. Literally, I've heard this argument for real, and it was an argument back in the New Testament days as well, where people would go, because of grace, I can just sin and then ask for forgiveness. It doesn't matter. I can sin, grace, sin, grace, back and forth.
Oh, yeah.
And Paul, even in the New Testament, says, Yes, you could do that, but that's not what you're supposed to do.
No.
This does not give you a license to continuously sin and go down that route and do these things. Instead, it's supposed to be a call to live better, essentially. And it's the same thing. It's validate those music, the video games, the everything that you do almost, and go, does this fit within the Christian liberty? Okay, yeah, because Christian liberty says you can do technically whatever you want, but does it also fit within the Christian lifestyle? Oh, maybe not. Okay, maybe I'm not going to do that.
Right.
And there's some things like, some people get all upset about video games where maybe there's killing of avatars of humans.
Yeah.
Because this is the killing of humans. I'm like,
That's desensitizing our youth.
I look at them like, no, I don't buy it because the rational mind, the real mind,
Mm-hmm.
anyone who is mature enough to think and doesn't have any sort of mental impairment can distinguish between these are pixels and these are real people.
Right.
Like when you had the person that live streamed the shooting,
Oh my gosh.
that obviously, if you were like, oh, I'm saving this because this is awesome.
Yeah,
That's messed up. That's crossing the line.
Yeah.
Way more than anything like a Call of Duty game. Those
Right.
aren't pixels. Those are real people that are on the other end of that camera in that regard.
Mm-hmm.
And that's that distinction, you have to do.
Yeah.
And to be fair, okay, there might be someone out there who, because of their own convictions, cannot play that game, for them.
Right.
And that is fine.
That's perfectly okay.
That's what I said. You have to validate it. Now, obviously, if the game is, one of those quote unquote movie social media games, and I say it that way, where, you get a phone call, go kill your parents. And, and then you have, cheesy movies that do stuff like that,
Yeah.
Obviously you don't do that because that's crossing the line. That's no longer a game. That's real life. That's taking over.
yeah.
That's where you got to stop. But I wonder sometimes if people will do it anyways because they're like, oh, social media. Okay, cool. I get my social media points. And
Yeah.
that's why sometimes I wonder if we should just shut down stuff like Meta and,
Wouldn't be against it.
well, then your Oculus would stop working.
It's okay. It's whatever.
The question is, what sort of filth and dirt and junk are you filling your mind with when you go into Oculus land?
So far, hitting golf balls.
Wow. You've taken the film off, right?
Yes. I did take the film off. Yes.
That one drove me nuts from the outside looking
you
in.
couldn't even see it though. It was so. Maybe you even see the lettering. You just saw right through it.
I would go nuts with that. My brain would register it still.
I know it's there.
But I'm saying, something like that is maybe where some games like, I hope there's not a game like out there like this, but if there's like Murder Simulator.
Oh, there is.
What?
Oh yeah.
I hope you're kidding.
No.
There's Murder Simulator.
There's games like where it's like, yeah, I'm pretty sure I've seen.
On the Quest.
Oh, on the Quest.
That's what I'm saying.
That you're getting into the
like on the Quest, because the Quest in and of itself is a pretty good VR system.
Mm-hmm.
So if it has something like Murder Simulator 3000, where I'd be like,
we're training.
That's starting to go beyond that whole pixel territory because now it's not just a video game where it's like
immersed into it.
Yeah. And you're taking a first person view role in this. And that's when the lines are starting to blur a little bit more. I'm still saying it's on the pixel side, but it's blurring a little bit more.
It's potentially numbing yourself to it more.
I would say a lot more than something like, Call of Duty.
I guess I could say yes if it's detailed. More so.
If they're going to call it Murder Simulator, it's going to be detailed.
Potentially.
It's not going to be one of those you just kind of tap someone on the shoulder. Oh, I'm dead.
Oh well, no, I'm just saying like it's just as far as like being like graphically or like Yeah, visually graphic and very detailed. Like,
Oh, so like Dying Light.
yeah, yeah.
At
pretty
least they're
much.
zombies already.
Yes, yeah, they're already dead. It's fine.
That would be fun to play in the Quest.
That'd be terrifying on the Quest. No. I've had plenty enough scares just playing it on the good old computer screen. I couldn't do that. No.
No, what I would want though is for you to be on one of those 360 treadmills in the VR setup,
my god.
where you actually had to run to get your character to run,
Hey, I mean, that'd probably help me lose a lot of weight.
and you'd have to jump to actually get your character to jump.
Oh my gosh. I'd have a much healthier heart.
Me too, sir. Me too.
But that's kind of a cool idea.
Any other comments on this one, Mr. Johnson?
Man, I mean, obviously the junk's never gonna leave, but hearing about the whole Zoomer generation, that's exciting to hear.
It gives you a little hope.
Yeah, because I guess because my nephews would be a part of the Zoomer generation, right?
Let's see here. Gen Z are between 9 and 24 years old.
9 and 24. Okay.
You just missed Gen Z.
Yeah, I'm just a couple years out.
Yeah.
A few years out. Yeah.
Born between 97 and 2012.
So yeah, two of them would be Gen Zers. Okay.
Yeah, you just missed it, sir. Congratulations.
Yeah, I get to be a millennial. Oh, joy.
Oh, guess what's after Gen Z? Gen Alpha.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
Yep. So Gen Alpha is going to be yay. Gen Alpha are those born from 2010 to 2024.
Okay.
So we're still in this Gen Alpha fun. So, all right.
Oh, how
And
fun.
no more comments, huh?
No, man. I wonder. Probably be a good idea to every once in a while sit back and look back at all the stuff I guess currently viewing, listening to, or whatever, and filtering through some stuff.
Reevaluate some of it.
Yeah.
Take out stuff that's junk.
Yeah.
And junk can be a very subjective thing.
Yeah.
You know, obviously, if you're a Christian, it's going to mean something different than if you're not a Christian. You know,
Right.
obviously, if it's abusive or derogatory language, that may be cultural in some respects. You know, but
Right.
in other respects, it's not. It's pretty hardcore line, and then you have to just be like, yeah, I may like this, but in the long term, is my own mental health and well-being and my attitude and interaction with other people worth being poor just so I can have this song or movie or book or whatever?
Hmm.
You have to ask yourself, what's more important?
Right.
The people I want to interact with, and now don't get me wrong, there might be something that there might be a song or a book or something that you like. There's nothing actually wrong with it, but society goes, really? You believe in it? You read that, you like it, and you can go, yeah, I like it, and stick to your guns. Like I said, there could be nothing wrong. There's nothing junky about it.
Mm-hmm.
But society might say it's junky because it goes against what they like.
Right.
I have a feeling you'll see that. Well, you're already starting to see it a little bit
See it.
with the Bible and
Yep.
that. And it's only going to get worse. So in that regard, what defines junk? What defines junk is what your worldview is,
Mm-hmm.
what you believe in, what is right and wrong, and what is worthwhile pursuing and not. And do you let others' worldviews impact what you believe is junk or not? The answer is we often do, but we shouldn't.
I suppose to a point.
We and not necessarily because maybe we want to, but because of a large of societal pressure to be like, believe what society says, not what your Bible says. That happens a
Well,
lot of
that,
times.
yeah.
That's why I'm saying, should we let that happen? No, but more often than not, we are.
As a Christian, yeah.
That as a Christian or as,
Well, because yeah.
there's other people who believe stuff, and in a way, this sounds weird, okay, but take it at the value that I'm giving it here. We as Christians should take a page out of the vegans, out of the tree huggers, out of Greta, and say, "That's nice, go away," lovingly.
Right.
Be like, I understand, I hear, but I disagree, and I'm going to continue doing what I'm doing, even regardless if you do mocking or whatever.
Yeah. Yeah.
In other words, you grow a spine and stick to what we believe.
Be a man.
Unless you're a woman, then be a woman.
Right. I know.
That's what I said.
Yeah.
Grow a spine.
Yeah, I know. I just wanted to say that.
I thought you were going to say something else, but I'll leave that for later.
Okay. Okay. I'm curious.
But yeah, anything else then last?
Heck no.
No more comments from Mr. Johnson. Well, that is a first for me. Actually, no, not really.
No, it's not.
As I say, oftentimes I'm going, come on, Mr. Johnson, say something, say something, say something. Say something, and now that you say something, believe in something, and now that you believe in something, do something.